Hi, this is Miss Groves, and I'm here to review with you all about shapes. So today we're going to be talking about different types of shapes, how we can partition shapes, and some problems we can solve about shapes. Let's get started. We have a lot of different shapes here. We have a circle, a triangle, a trapezoid, a rectangle, and a square. Let's start with our circle. First, how many sides does a circle have? Show me with your fingers how many sides a circle has. Good job. It has 0 sides. Do you see a shape that has 0 sides? That's right. Let's match them up. Next is our triangle. Show me with your fingers how many sides a triangle has. That's right. It has 3 sides. Do you see a shape that has 3 sides? Good job. Let's match them up. Next is a trapezoid. Show me with your fingers how many sides a trapezoid has. That's right, it has 4 sides. But there's a couple other shapes that have 4 sides too. So what makes a trapezoid different? Well, we know that 2 sides are parallel, which means they're going the same direction. It has a top and it has a bottom. And they're different sizes, but they're going the same direction. So that's our trapezoid. Do you see a shape that sounds like that? Good job, let's match them up. Next is a rectangle. Show me with your fingers how many sides a rectangle has. Good job. Again, we have another shape that also has 4 sides. So what makes a rectangle special? Well, with a rectangle, there are 2 sides that are the same length, and they're going the same direction. And there's another 2 sides that are also the same length, and they're going the same direction. Do you see a shape that sounds like that? Good job, let's match them up. So our next shape is a square. Can you show me with your fingers how many sides a square has? That's right. And do you know what makes a square special from the other 4-sided shapes? Well, a square has 4 equal sides, which means all the sides are the same. Do you see a shape where all the sides are the same? Good job, let's match them up. Good work. Now we have all our shapes: the circle, the triangle, square, the rectangle, and the trapezoid. Good job finding all the matches. Let's keep going. Next, we're going to talk about partitioning a shape, which also means like cutting or dividing. And when we partition a shape, we want to make sure we do it equally. Equally means that both sides have the same amount. So if we look at my 2 examples, this is an equal partition because this side is the same as this side. This one is unequal because this side does not have as much as this side does. So it is unequal, it is not fair. So when we partition, we want to make sure we are fair and equal and that both sides have the same amount. So let's pay attention to our partitions as we look at some different ways we can partition shapes. When we partition equally, we can partition a whole, we can partition into halves, or we can partition into fourths. Do you know how much we're going to partition if we're partitioning a whole? 0. We don't do anything to it if we're partitioning a whole. We want to keep it as 1. We want to keep it as 1. When we partition into halves, do you know how many parts we're going to have? Show me with your fingers how many parts we're going to have if we cut a shape into halves. That's right, we're going to have 2 different sides. So let's look at how we can do that. right? I have partitioned my shape into halves. I have 1/2 and 2/2. Are those equal? Yes, they are, because this side has the same amount as this side. Now let's look at fourths. Show me with your fingers how many parts I'm going to have if I cut my circle into fourths. That's right. I'm going to have 4 different parts. Let's look at how we can partition this circle into 4 equal parts. So let's check that they're equal. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts, and they all look the same. So they are equal, and there are 4 equal parts. I cut them into fourths. So we have a whole, halves, and fourths. So as I look at how I partition my shapes, I have 2 questions. Number 1, which one has bigger slices? I want you to keep it in your head for me. Look at which one, a whole, a half, or fourths. Which one has bigger slices? Keep it in your head. All right, I want you to whisper it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Good job. Whole has bigger slices. If I get a whole pizza, that means I get to eat the entire thing. That is one big slice, and that's a lot of pizza. My next question, which one has smaller slices? I want you to keep it in your head. Again, my question, which one has smaller slices? Keep it in your head. I want you to whisper it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Fourths, good job. Fourths have smaller pieces. When I look at how I cut my slices, I would get a smaller slice if I cut my pizza into fourths. I get a bigger slice if I keep my pizza as a whole. Good job on partitioning, class. Good work. Now, I have some challenging questions for you. Let's see if you can answer them. First question. Lisa is having a friend over. They both want to color a picture. How can Lisa and her friend share the piece of paper equally? Here's my piece of paper. There are 4 different ways I could partition this shape. I want you to show me with your hands one way I could partition this shape equally. Good job. Here's our first way of partitioning our shape equally. I have one side for Lisa and one side for her friend. Good job. All right, next I want you to show me another way with your hands that I can partition this shape equally. Show me now. Good job. Here's my other way to partition this shape equally. I have one part for Lisa and one part for her friend. Good job. Now it gets a little more tricky. Can you show me another way that we could partition our shape equally? Good job. Here is my other way to partition my shape equally. Here's one side for Lisa and one side for her friend. Good job. Can you think of another way? One more. Think really hard. What's another way I could partition this shape equally? Let's take a look. So I have one part for Lisa and one part for her friend. Good job. Give yourself a pat on the back. That was some hard thinking. Now, I want to try one more. Let's look at this next problem. Matthew and his 3 friends are sharing a pizza. Show how they can partition the shape into equal pieces. Matthew and his 3 friends are sharing a pizza. Show how they can partition the pizza into equal pieces. Well, I know I have Matthew, plus I have his 3 friends. So how many is that in all? 4. That's right. I need to partition my pizza into 4 equal parts. Well, I remember this from before, so I think I can do this. So I'm going to partition down the middle. So I have 2 parts. That's not enough for Matthew and his 3 friends because I need 4 pieces. So I am going to partition my shape again. And now let's see if I have 4 equal pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 equal pieces. So now Matthew and his 3 friends can share their pizza. Class, you have done a wonderful job of looking at our shapes today. Good work.